Hi everyone, my name is Venkatesh Madke and welcome back to video. Friends, in today's video, we are going to talk about 60 corporate skills for better future. Well, first and foremost is a communication skill. Well, friends, when I say communication skill, that means written communication, verbal communication. At the same time, your body language, how you speak, how you stand, your gesture, your posture. The next is emotional intelligence. Well, emotional intelligence means understanding your own emotions, at the same time, understanding others' emotions. Sometimes at our workplace, we get out of control, we lose our temper. But friends, this situation or this type of temperament can hamper your work relations. So you should know or you should have control on your emotions. At the same time, you need to understand the other person's emotions, how he is feeling, how he or she is feeling. Next is time management. Well, in today's busy schedule, we need to prioritize your work. How much time you can allocate for your work? How much time you can allocate for your life, personal life? At the same time, how much time you can allocate for your self development? If you know how to prioritize, then you can win the game. The next is critical thinking. Well, critical thinking means sometime at our workplace we need to take a decision very quickly. So at that time you should develop that mindset that how you can think critically and out of that how you can take the right decisions. The next is problem solving skills. If you are a leader, your subordinates will come with a lot of problems. So you should have a problem solving ability. You should develop this problem solving skills. The next is growth mindset. If you are a leader in any organization, your first priority should be the growth of your organization, because end of the day management will ask what is the growth, what is the future of our organization, what is your plan when it comes to the growth. So you should develop this growth mindset, how I can take my organization to the next level. The next is self discipline. Well friends, self discipline is very very important. Disciplined people, disciplined person can achieve extraordinary results than non-disciplined person. The best example is Sachin Tendulkar. The next is confidence building. As a leader, you should have a confidence. You should carry that confidence. Until and unless you are not confident enough, your team will not feel confident. Adaptability, well, this is very important skill, because in if you are working as a leader, you are working with a different type of people. I mean different type of team. Like sometimes you are working with a logistic team, sometimes you are working with a human resource team, sometimes you are working with sales team. At the same time sometimes you are working with the marketing team. So you need to understand or you need to adapt their environment, what they are thinking, what is their work environment. If you learn how to adapt quickly, you can understand, you can empathize yourself, and you can have a proper better discussion with them. The next is stress management. Friends, if you are working as a leader, stress has to be there. You will get stress once you start your office time. So you need to understand how I'm going to manage that stress. Well, there are so many books has been written on stress management. So the simple way to manage your stress is that anticipate what's coming in a day. This problem I'm going to face, this situation I'm going to face. So what could be the logic reason, what could be the logic solution? At the same time, spend some time for exercise, for walk, for meditation. That will help you to manage your stress. The next is leadership development. The first job of any leader is to create another leader. So you should develop that leadership, how you are going to develop another leader in your team. Well, there are many skills, there are many topics, there are many ways by which you can develop another leader. The next is negotiation skills. As or if you're working as a leader, you are meeting with the clients, you are doing business, you are working for the organization where you are taking your organization to the next level. So how you are going to negotiate with your clients, that's very important. How you are putting your strengths, your qualities, your organization vision to in front of the customer, that plays very important role when it comes to the negotiation. The next is goal setting. Well, goal setting, you need to learn the skills, you need to learn this skill. Goal setting is very important because you are responsible for the results. So you need to break down your goals into the smaller achievable way. If you are giving some sales target to the sales team, it should be quarterly divided, it should be monthly divided, it should has some action plan to that. So the goal setting is also very important skill which you need to develop. The next is teamwork and the collaboration. Friends, you might have heard, if you want to achieve something, or if you want to get something very quickly, try it alone. But if you want to achieve and go ahead, go far, then your team will work or team will help. Because in corporate, single person cannot achieve any success. So you need to have a proper team. So when you are having proper team, you need to learn that skill, how you are going to work in the team. That is also very important skill which I have learned some after 2 3 years spending in the corporate world. Presentation skill. Friends, no matter, I would say, no matter in which organization or in which department you are working, if you have this presentation skill, then you will have some different kind of career. Because if you know how to present, if you know how to convert complex thing into the simply understandable way, if you know how to present complex thing into the small simple or understandable way, then you are going to be have a great success in corporate world. Decision making. Friends, sometime as a leader you have to take very quick decision. Sometimes you have to take decision which should have a beneficial outcome. So how you are going to take a decision? Also, there are so many books has been written on decision making. Well, some people will say, if I have a 60-70% positive data, I will take decision. Some people will say, with my prior experience, I will take the decision. But the decision making skill is very important. Believe me, this sounds very small, but it's very important. Professional networking. Friends, if you don't have network, then you will stuck in a problem. But if you have a strong network with your clients, network with your stakeholders, network with ecosystem who is helping to run our organization, network with the external agencies, like there are so many external agencies like marketing, like a sales, like the logistic. There are so many external agencies which will help you to make your job easier. So you should have a good professional networking. The next is continuous learning. As a leader, you should understand or you should develop that ability to learn continuously, because the world is changing very rapidly. The the space is moving very rapidly. So you need to learn every day. You need to learn about AI, you need to learn about the bitcoins, you need to learn about what's happening in the geopolitics, you need to understand what's happening in the global market, what's happening in the tariff change, everything, every day new update. So you need to develop this continuous learning ability. Delegation skill. Friends, I would say as a leader, you should know how to delegate your work, the work which is not productive, the work which taking your most of time. So you need to develop this delegation skill. Like my, if I am having 5 team member under me, I should delegate one Excel compile data to one person. I should delegate one presentation PPT preparation to another subordinate. So you should know how to delegate your work, and you should keep yourself free to think about vision of our organization, to growth of of your organization, new challenges what you are facing and how you are going to solve. So you need to think one step ahead. I would say not even one step, 10 step ahead of your organization. If this you can do only if you keep yourself free. The next is conflict resolution. Well, this is my favorite topic, because every day, believe me, every day there will be conflict in your team. The way, the more you climb your ladders, the more conflict you need to resolve. So you need to learn the skills that how I'm going to resolve this conflict. The next is creative thinking. Well, creative thinking is a part of decision making. How you are thinking strategically, how you are thinking creatively, and how this decision will make some different results for your organization. So if you think creatively, then if you develop this creative thinking, then people will start liking your results, because people will think, okay, this person is having some unique idea to the same problem. Self awareness. Friends, if you are working in an organization, people are watching you, and if you are working as a leader, then more people will watching you. So you should aware about your presence, how you dress, how you talk, how you smile, how you eat, what shoes you are wearing, what dress you are wearing, etc. Strategic planning. Everything has to be planned, and everything has to be planned strategically. So if someone is asking you why you are traveling to this country after 1 month, you should have this strategic plan. If someone is asking why you are launching this product, you should have this strategic plan. Okay, this is the strategy. If I'm launching this product, this will give benefit for your organization. Customer focus. The only company can win, or the only company can survive who having focus on the customer, or the company whose focus is on customer. The best example is Amazon. Their focus is on customer only. The next is financial literacy. No matter which decision you take, no matter how new product you will launch, no matter what activity you are doing in your organization, if that decision is not financially viable, then no matter how that activity went, no one will bother. That has to be a financially viable. What I mean is that, for example, if you are spending, let's say, 5 lakh rupees on one customer, and if that customer is giving you, let's say, 1 CR business, that means this is the financial viable decision. But if you are spending 5 lakh rupees on one particular customer, and that particular customer is not giving you business, then this is the zero return on the investment. So you should know, or you should develop this financial literacy. Mentoring and the coaching. What I can say is that if you want to develop yourself, then start mentoring, start coaching. If you start coaching, if you start mentoring, your brain will generate new ideas. Your brain will get some straightforward thinking. So the mentoring and the coaching is very much important, which also I have seen in many corporate leader. They are mentor and they are coach. Because of that, their career is something extraordinary. Digital literacy. Friends, nowadays most of senior managers, most of senior leadership, they are very uneducated, I would say, when it comes to the digital. Any newcomer MBA is very much well known with the digital things. He is very savvy with the digital, whether it's a LinkedIn, whether it's a email, whether it's a new app, whether it's a, artificial intelligence. So you need to adapt, you need to learn these digital things, and you need to expert than your subordinate, than your new generation. The next is accountability. You are accountable for your organization. If you are working as a leader, you should know what is happening. If someone is asking you what is happening, you should know answer, because end of the day, as a leader, you are accountable. So you need to take that responsibility. Yes, I know, because of this, that this has happened, because of that, this has happened. So accountability is very, very important. The next is public speaking. Phrase, every now and then, you need to convey a message. The message from management, the message from company owner to your team, to your subordinate. So you need to develop this public speaking ability, because sometimes you have to speak, you have to talk, you have to deliver good news, sometimes you have to deliver a bad news. So that ability to speak in front of public has to be there. Data driven thinking. So if you're a leader, and if you want to take decision, check your data, what data is saying. For example, if I wanted to travel, let's say, Germany, to meet some customers, do I have data? Do I have some customer database with me? What I'm going to do in Germany? So if I'm having data, then I can take the decision. So you should always take decision on based on the data. Change management. Friends, every, I would say, 2 years, there will be a big change in every organization. If you see any organization today in this year, will be different after 2 years. So how you are going to adapt yourself, how you are going to convince your team about that change. So you have to develop that ability also. Workplace ethics. Friends, this is very important when you are working in big organization, because they don't compromise in ethics. What I mean is that data safety, the security of their company's information, how you are not sharing your data to competitors. So that all workplace ethics you need to understand and you need to follow. The next is personal branding. Friends, if you know or if you develop this personal branding skill, then no one is going to stop you. At the same time, while you're working in any organization, you should develop your personal brand. The personal brand has to be very impressive, has to be very ethical, has to be growth driven, has to be people should follow you. The way you talk, the way you stand, the way you present, the way you take organization from a small organization to the big organization. So while doing that, you should develop your personal brand. You should pay attention to yourself. Then and then only personal brand will build. Diversity and inclusion. If you are working as a leader, you should have a diversified team, like some people from different background, some people from different state, some people from different let's say cultural group. Some people you will have female colleagues, some people you will have male colleagues. So if you are having diversified team under you, then you will have different solution for one problem. Focus deep work. What it means is that whatever you are doing, do it passionately. So whatever project you are doing, involve yourself 100%. Pay your attention, think about that project, and focus on that project, do passionately, and the result will be different. Influence without authority. So friends, sometime your team should follow you without any authority. This is very difficult because to do that you need to you know you need to behave very extraordinary. You need to understand emotions, you need to develop so many skills, you need to develop that trust. Then and then only this will happen. Mindfulness at work. How happily you are working at your workplace, that is also plays very important role. Whether you are going with the passionately, whether you are putting yourself 100% or you are just doing shake up doing, then it will also vary how mindful, how happily you are working. Written communication. Well, this is again is very important because written communication sometime works or always works very positively if you have a skill, this written skill at email writing, because you have to write clear email. Should not be any misunderstanding in email, because most of big discussion happen on email only nowadays on corporate world. So if you have good written communication, you will get appreciation. Building trust. Friends, building trust is also very important because sometimes your subordinate will share some personal problems with you, some family problems with you. So if you have built that trust, and if if you are keeping that secret with you, then that person will believe you. But if if you break that trust, if you are sharing same information, confidential information to some other people, then you will not build that trust, you will not be considered as a trustworthy person. Innovation culture. So develop your team, you should develop your team kind of innovative. They should come up with the innovative ideas, innovative products, innovative solution, etc. Project management. No matter in which organization you are working, you should know how to manage my project start to end. Active listening. Well, this is the part of communication skill. I would say communication skill contain 80% active listening or listening and 20% only speaking. Work life balance. As a leader, you should develop this work life balance. How much time I can give my organization, how much time I can give to my family, how much time I can give for my health, how much time I can give for my self development, how much time I can give to my friends and the other people. So if you learn this work life balance ability, then you will have very bright future. Cultural intelligence. Cultural intelligence means you will have a different cultural team. The people is coming from different culture. Someone will come from south part of country, someone will from north part of country. The culture will be different, but you should know how to respect, or you should learn, or you should develop, you should respect their culture. At the same time, keeping your culture at the respected place. Resilience. How you are going, how you are bounce back, how you are fast, how you are failing fast, and coming back, how you are bouncing back. That's very important, because every day there will be the failure. Out of 10, 9 times you have to face failure, you have to face rejections, but how you are getting bounce back very quickly will also very important. Giving and the receiving feedback. If you are not giving feedback, if you are not receiving feedback, how you are going to understand where I am going right, where I am going wrong? So the giving and the receiving feedback is very important in the corporate world. Priority management. For example, tomorrow is a Saturday, I need to submit my report, I need to go to shopping mall, I need to go to restaurant, good restaurant. So I need to prioritize. Okay, which one is important? Report submission, report is important. Then second is good restaurant is important. And then if I get time, then I will go to the mall. It should not be vice versa. So you should know how to prioritize your work. Empathy in leadership. Well, if you keep yourself into other person's shoes, then you will start thinking differently. Because friends, every you know every problem has a different perspective. I will think differently, that next person will think differently. But if I start putting myself into that next person's shoes and start thinking, then the result will be different. Then my team relation with my team will be different. Next one is remote work effectiveness. After COVID, world has changed. So after COVID, people has developed this ability, how I can control my team, whether they are working remotely, whether they are working from the work from home. Executive presence is very important, because as a leader, people are watching you, how you talk, how you stand, how you eat, how you dress, everything matter. So you should keep very you should maintain that decorum. You should have a control on your executive presence. So friends, these are some skills which I think is very important to get success in the corporate world. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like button.